So about a week ago, I did a video about how India has about 30, maybe 40 if we're optimistic, years of high growth left before the population starts falling. That is if India decides not to let loads of people immigrate, like say how Japan does. And Japan is receding into the economic background. It's not going to be powerful anymore. Incomes are falling. Their currency is weakening. They're dealing with over-tourism. Now, there's another country that's used to be somewhat homogenous, Germany, that decided to go the other route. It decided to fill in its ranks of working people with immigrants. And it's dealing with other social problems, like, say, the rise of the AfD, because their homogenous society isn't really able to take this kind of immigration that well. Now, India is already not at all homogenous, super diverse, and I think it's very well positioned for immigration. But that leaves the other question. Where is India going to get its immigrants from in 40 years? See, Germany, France, all of these European countries that get enough immigrants to keep their populations up are small countries. They always have an India or a China or anywhere else to rely on that has populations orders of magnitude bigger than them. Even the US, which has 300 million people, relies heavily on Indian and Chinese immigration. So the question is, when India's population starts falling, it's going to need like 5 million people a year to keep its working age population. Where do you get that many people without hollowing out the domestic population of that country? And the answer is obviously not relying on just one or two countries, but all of them, okay? So there's only a few countries that are going to grow into the hundreds of millions plus populations in the next few decades. That's like a bunch of countries in Africa, Nigeria. Here's how their population pyramid looks, great. And you've got Ethiopia, you've got Egypt, you've got the Democratic Republic of Congo, and then you've got like Pakistan, but let's not even entertain that idea. If one day India wants to attract these immigrants, it's going to need to pull like 1% of the population of each of those countries out every year, which I don't even know if they'd be willing to let go of that many people. Not to mention that Europe and the US are likely going to be competing for those migrants as well. So yeah, even if India wants migrants, India doesn't have another India. If I were to make a prediction for after 2050 for India, which for young people like me and you is probably important, I'd say expect a reasonable amount of African immigration to India, but also that this isn't going to be enough and India has no choice but to slide into demographic decline. Fun times ahead.